Hi everyone, this is Jason Zach from Nathaniel School of Music. In this lesson, we are going to practice reading rhythms, playing rhythms, applying rhythms on multiple instruments like the piano, on percussion instruments, just by setting a very simple constraint for ourselves, which is pretty much how I practice rhythm when I go about my work. So the constraint we are setting for ourselves is basically 6 hit points within a bar. A hit point is basically a sound like that. Okay, so 6 of them. So we go in an incremental way. We start with eighth notes, also known as quavers, then we'll bring in some rests, then we'll move into semi-quavers, some easy semi-quaver rhythms, and then we'll go into some really groovy stuff. Okay, so stay tuned till the very end. There'll be a lot of rhythms waiting for you, and also this has been notated for you on our Patreon page. You'll also get a MIDI file so you could listen to it. You'll also get the original MuseScore document, and you'll also get my handwritten notes. For those of you who don't read, you can use those indicators to mark out the hit points pretty easily. So do consider supporting us there on our Patreon, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for regular notifications. That'll be awesome. Right, so it's time to get cracking. We'll start off with rhythm number 1, which is basically, I'll play it for you and then teach. Okay, so that'll be, so what's going on there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So every alternate beat you're going to double it up, and the other one would be the pulse. So it's good to set a pulse probably with your leg while you count this out. You can even clap it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now get into the internal counting system, which would be dividing by 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and which would be a good thing to kind of count as you go along. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. You can also say something like takka 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 tak. And now coming to the rhythm, dum ta ta dum ta ta dum ta ta dum ta ta. Now if I do something like dum ta ta, I could also imply that I'd like a kick sound and a snare sound, something like kick, snare, snare, kick, snare, snare, kick, or maybe on the cajon, or maybe on the piano. Now, how do I incorporate a kick and snare drum on the piano? There are a couple of ways you can do it. You can play left hand kick, right hand snare, and maybe the snare drum could be a chord. Let's say D would be the root, and maybe the right hand could be the snare drum on a chord. There we go. It's also a nice chord workout because I'm going in the circle of fifths. And back to C. Okay, so you can bring that drum like idea, just basically 2 pitches, kick and snare, low and high. You can also incorporate it with maybe one hand of your piano. That'll allow your right hand to free itself up and probably do an arpeggio, maybe. So I'm basically playing almost like the hi-hats of the drummer, right? Or I can play my own thing, maybe a melodic line. So that's rhythm 1. Now as we move forward, it's going to be small subtle changes here and there. Let me play you rhythm 2 and then teach it. So that's kick, snare, snare, kick, snare, snare. 1, 2 and 3 and 4, and so you need to watch out for the 3. You don't play the 3. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and Oom-Pah-Pah. You can even say some things like Oom-Pah-Pah, 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 Oom. Just to keep the flow going. Get a nice kick. Oom. Some piano coming up. Oom-Pah-Pah, 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 Oom. I'd recommend you to always move your body or at least tap your foot while you play. Okay, rhythm number 3 is very simple. It's based, I'll play it and then show you. Oom-Pah-Pah, 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 Oom-Pah-Pah. Some progression. Oom-Pah-Pah, 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 Oom. Ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-do-do-do-do-do. You get the idea. The next rhythm, I'll play it and then show you. Oom-Pah-Pah, Oom-Pah-Pah, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Oom-Pah-Pah, Oom-Pah-Pah, kick, snare, snare, kick, snare, snare. I'll do it with just the kick and snare. Okay, piano. Oom-Pah-Pah, Oom-Pah-Pah. Play along with me. I'm on a D major chord. It's pretty simple. Get your pianos out if you haven't already. And if you're maintaining your foot pulse, you don't want to kind of copy the piano part with your leg. You want to keep the pulse going with your foot. Oom-Pah-Pah, 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 and so on. So that was about the 8th note world of quavers. We'll now move into the 16th note world, which is semi-quavers. So you want to count 16th notes, generally speaking, as 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So I'll start you off with the most simple sort of salsa rhythm, as they call it. It's called the Tresillo. Tresillo in Spanish means three of something. So the first pattern would be, I'm sure you'll find it very familiar. You would have heard it in a lot of songs. It's also called as the pop soca or the soca clave. So it'll go something like, I'll play it first and then show you. 1E and a 2E and a 3E, a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3. So kick, snare, snare, kick, snare, snare, kick, snare. Now you could also do kick, kick, snare, kick. Both kind of work actually. That will be always great with the steady pulse. Doom, doom, that's your pulse. 1E and a 2E and a 3E, a 4E versus 1E and a kick, snare, snare. 1E and, so the hit points are 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, okay, stuff like that, you know. So you have That's a Tresillo. Now a modified version of the Tresillo would be duk, 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 duk. So what are my hits? 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. So the 3 would not be hit at the 3, it would be hit at the E of the 3. Duk, 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 duk. There we go. Okay, so on the piano. That's what I'm calling the modified Tresillo. Then next rhythm on the 16th note domain, I'll play it and then show you. It's pretty easy. So 1 E and a 2 E, 3 E and a 4 E, carbon copy kind of. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a duk duk chka duk. Okay, with the kick. You can also make a melody on the keys if you wish, on a scale of choice, let's say C minor. Or build a little riff. And the difference between a keyboard piano or a instrument which produces pitch versus a percussion instrument is on the keyboard you can decide whether you want a more staccato sound or a legato sound. Okay, I got carried away there. That's not in the exercise, but you get the idea. Okay, next rhythm. Let's do it on the drums first. 1 E and a 2 E, 1 E and a 2 E, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 1 E and a 2 E, 3 E, 1 E and a 2 E and you carbon copy it. So it's a bit more on the funkier side, you could say. So you have to move your body whenever you play a rhythm pattern, otherwise you only will not know whether it's right or wrong. So if you can enjoy your own music as you play it live, I'm sure that proves that it's correct. You don't even need a metronome to validate whether you're right or wrong. You just have to move your body in some fashion, either your head or you clap or you tap your leg or whatever it might be. Moving on to the next rhythm. A combination of the Tresillo and some easy eighth notes there. There we go. Okay, little faster. Okay, we have a couple more left before we sign off, so let's get to it. Pretty easy. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and So it's these E's and the E's which make for interesting rhythm. That brings you the essence of the semi-quaver feel. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and Okay, we have one more left before we sign off. Let's get that done now. Both the E's and the E's of the beat 2 and the beat 4, every alternate beat. There we go. one E and a 2 E and a 2 E. There we go. Let's try and get a riff going on the keys. Right, so those were some rhythm exercises for you to practice your quaver rhythms as well as your semi-quaver rhythms. A few final thoughts, as I said earlier, as I've repeated myself throughout the lesson, move your body when you play. A lot of students ask me, should I practice with metronome? That's a very kind of difficult question to answer, because I can go on and on in a very kind of technical way of when you should actually not use a metronome. In fact, I've given some creative metronome techniques in a previous lesson. We leave you a link in the description. Don't use a metronome, rather feel the music with your body, internalize the subdivisions, the quavers and the semi-quavers. Basically, the word is feel the music. You just have to feel what you're doing and move your body. And with rhythm, it's very simple. You want to establish movement between you and your audience. You're trying to get the audience to showcase some movement in a very spontaneous, natural way. So if you don't move to your own music, I don't think you have the right to get anyone to do it with you until you move your own body. So it could be your head, it could be your foot, it could be your clapping, as I told you earlier, or you could dance. Unfortunately, I can't demonstrate that right now at the moment since I don't have those skills, but you get the idea. And before we sign off, it'll be nice if you can leave a note in the comments on a lesson or a topic that you'd like to learn, and we'll be happy to consider it for a future lesson. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Get our notation, my handwritten notes, on our Patreon, which will be the subscription will be applicable not just for this lesson but for everything that we have ever done and are going to do. Thanks a ton for watching the video. Cheers.